Hey, this is Hardline, Destructoid's video game news podcast. I'm Jordan Devore, and today we don't have Dale with us. He's in Japan. Hopefully he won't be showing up in the middle of the stream and causing chaos. But I do have Steven Hansen with me.
Hello.
And Hamza Aziz.
Hopefully Dale never shows up ever again.
Someone, don't tell him this, but someone specifically was like, don't have Dale on the show. I did not. I'm not kidding. They were like, I love Steven. Hamza's all right. Don't have Dale on. It causes mischief.
What do you say about you, Jordan?
Hamza?
He didn't say anything about me, which is the way I like it. I don't stand out too much. Hopefully. Yeah, let's just dive right in here.
You're the Jason Collins of Hardline.
Who's that? Who's Jason Collins?
He is the first openly gay player in professional sports.
Oh, okay.
But,
I just didn't
but
know
not because him being gay, but because he's a big man and his whole purpose on the court is not to be flashy or score points, but to disappear onto the court and take fouls.
Yeah.
You can talk about games
idea.
now.
Yeah, let's do it. No more sports ever. Uncharted. That was kind of a surprise. So, the writer and creative director of the Uncharted series, what's her name? Amy Hennig. She is gone from Naughty Dog. And the weird thing is there's some claim that she got forced out was the quote, which sounds bad, and I don't know if I believe that. Does that not just sound not untrue? I don't know.
No. When I read that and
those
wrote
words,
the story, I was just like it was specifically forced out, and I was like, she's been there for 10 years. She was the director and writer of all 3 Uncharted games. She worked on Jak and Daxter. She wrote for Legacy of Kain. Like, why would she be forced out? And if she is forced out, and in The Last of Us guys, Neil Druckmann and Bruce Staley are going to then just take over Uncharted, that also seems dumb when they could be doing a new thing.
Because it sounds like they are doing their own thing. They were at least brainstorming ideas for a new IP or a Last of Us sequel. They publicly said that. So
yeah, so it doesn't make sense to get rid of the successful Uncharted lead and put them on it and not make another thing. So it's weird. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll get more clarification.
I've seen people want her to be picked up by Square Enix to work on Soul Reaver again. That'd be cool.
Wait, she worked on Soul Reaver?
Yeah, she directed. I think she directed it and wrote it. So she was pretty involved with that. Yeah.
No, I mean wherever she's gonna end up. It could be a blessing for some company that actually wants to hire a good writer for once.
She is one of the more well-known game writers, I would think.
Yeah.
I'm not really into Uncharted, though, to be honest. Not at all.
Yeah, same here.
I figured Hamza didn't like it that much, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Uncharted, and they're well written. So
the story is the thing I probably like more than anything of Uncharted. So I'll say that much.
Well, whether or not she's gonna do her own thing or get picked up by a big studio, it's probably gonna be a good thing for wherever she ends up.
Max, we sent him to Japan. Isn't that right? To preview the new Metal Gear.
Yes.
Is that where he went? Okay.
Yes, I sent him to Japan. He had a box of chocolate and roses for Kojima-san. Begged for his forgiveness, so we could, play Metal Gear after they blacklisted us or whatever. And I
had to suck his dick.
So yeah, everything is great now. There may have been sexual acts. I don't know.
Sounds like there were. Snake is back. War has changed, you said. Yeah, so the thing with this is I've never really been into Metal Gear either, speaking of like big franchises that people love. I played Peace Walker, I played a few other games. But the thing is, I'm actually pretty looking forward to what is this game called? I'm blanking.
Ground
Zeroes. That's right. Not the Phantom Pain, Ground Zeroes. And I'm specifically looking forward to it because So, well, to use an example, so Dead Rising was another one I wasn't really into, and then they released that Case Zero DLC. It was sort of this standalone thing for Dead Rising 2. I played that, I loved it. Then I went and played Dead Rising 2, loved that, and that got me into the series. I went back to the first one and loved it. So I'm kind of hoping that same thing can happen here with Metal Gear, and that Ground Zeroes will get me into the Phantom Pain, of course, but then prior installments. That would be
it sounds cool. A lot less obtuse, a lot less idiosyncratic, a lot more familiar for people who play third-person games. You can't do hilarious rolls, and there's no more cardboard box to hide in. There's a lot of different things, and Max has covered a lot. Did a regular preview and then covered sort of what's different in this game. So it'll definitely. It should sort of spawn a new audience. The weird thing is, like, this is like such a big release, but because it's just this like replayable prologue bit, it kind of feels weird. But like, I was on BART one day and these guys were like talking really loudly about how cool Battlefield is, and one of them was like, "Oh, there's a new Metal Gear Solid game coming out," and I was like, "What?" Like people you wouldn't expect, like very dude bro-y guys, and so like Metal Gear Solid is still a huge series, and there's a new game coming out next month or this month.
Is it this month? I guess we are in March, right?
Yeah. I can't believe it's already that time. I had Max basically tell me, so you got to play through the entire campaign a couple times, and got to mess around with a bunch of things in it, and I had him basically spoil everything to me. And I was kind of blown away by the fact that a lot of the stuff you see in the Phantom Pain trailer from E3, that amazing trailer that they debuted, there's a ton of crazy, actual, like, major spoilers in that trailer, all pertaining to Ground Zeroes.
Was this the trailer with the whale? Was there a whale in it? I can't even remember.
I think there was the quick cut of the whale, but it's
there was a whale. They were he was in bandages and sort of like limping around and. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, that was like the debut of Phantom Pain, and I believe that's like basically the beginning of Phantom Pain, right?
Well, honestly, it feels like for Phantom Pain they, because it's not coming out until next year, right? So it feels like they just didn't have enough to show for Phantom Pain, that they had to show what they had, and what they had is what's going to be released as Ground Zeroes.
I mean, I don't know. They showed a lot of Phantom Pain, though. They showed us that whole segment of Afghanistan, the horse stealthing.
That was the thing. I'm not kidding. I saw that and I was like, I need to look into this Metal Gear thing because that looked awesome.
Yeah.
Even though I know that's a new thing, but yeah.
I'm kind of like you in the sense that like I could never get into the original Metal Gears for whatever reason. Like I remember playing Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation 1 and I just could not get past that first section. But
me too.
My gaming skills weren't up to par.
Casual.
At the time, but I was casual, whatever. So I never kind of went back to it. But for whatever reason, I really got into Peace Walker. I'm definitely going to get into Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain, and I just actually got a hold of the HD collection.
Yeah.
For the past Metal Gear games, so I'm definitely going to dive into Snake Eater and.
Snake Eater is the one I feel most bad about not playing. Isn't that the one most fans seem to like? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
That one always seemed the coolest, the like boss battles and all that stuff. I think for me, it was the story is so bizarre and convoluted. The other day, or maybe it was like a week ago, someone on Reddit did a one paragraph summary of the entire franchise using like 4-word sentences, and my mind was like, what is going on here? Possessed arms and all this other shit, and I had no idea what was happening. So. That's part of the reason why I haven't been able to get into it, but I think the gameplay, some of the older games, it's kind of tough to get into this late after they were released. But I'll definitely give it a shot.
I mean, I went through the HD collections on Vita a few months ago, last year or something. They still hold up. They're easy to get back into. So definitely with the HD collections, you can try to get into the series if you like it.
It also helps that when I originally played the Metal Gear games, like I didn't understand the concept of stealthing through a game. I was like, this is a video game. Why can't I just blast everyone? And now some of my favorite games lately, like Dishonored and
why can't I jump on his head?
I really enjoyed those, just the whole stealthing aspect. So I think it's long overdue to get back into this series proper.
Titanfall. This getting a season pass. You don't say. You don't say.
Wasn't it Activision or someone who finally admitted that season passes don't work and they stopped it? And now we have yet another company still trying them.
Well, was it Activision?
I'm thinking online.
No, yeah.
That was EA did that.
The other shitty thing, the worst shitty thing.
The worst, the Project $10 or whatever it was, that was way worse than season passes. Because at least season passes you can ignore pretty easily.
At least they said that Titanfall would be getting some free updates, like a couple things that they couldn't fit into the release, like some mode that they couldn't fit in. But it's a multiplayer focused first person shooter. They're gonna release DLC and they're gonna sell it to you. And if you want to buy it in bulk, they're gonna let you do that because it's good for them.
Yeah, I think it's 3 packs, $10 each. But if you pay up front, you save $5. So people will do it. Wasn't one of the complaints in Titanfall that there weren't enough maps though, or am I?
No.
I'm thinking of something else then. Okay.
Yeah,
so never
that's
mind.
a lot given the state of how games are split up into things for season passes and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there outrage over season passes with this one? Like, I figure, like, this day and age, like, it's just a thing. It's gonna happen. We kind of have to live with it.
Yeah. I don't know.
The only time I remember season pass outrage was BioShock Infinite.
That one is kind of justifiable, though. Well, what were they outraged about? Just the existence? Because
I think it was like the fact that I think it might have been just the fact that the price of the DLC and then like the Beyond the Return to Rapture, Burial, whatever, being like a couple hours.
Initially too was just that it took forever.
Yeah, that was what I was getting at. Is that they didn't really say what it was going to be for a long time, and then also the length concerns, I guess. But
and there's like the random holdover multiplayer arena mode or whatever. Like,
who even played that?
I feel like more people would have played that over a multiplayer mode. So
I like the multiplayer in BioShock 2, and I know Brett, who also writes for Detroit, he does as well, but I guess we're in the minority.
I played it like once or twice, and it was kind of fun, but I'm so not into online multiplayer anymore. I think
that was the thing, is a lot of people who enjoyed BioShock, at least the first game, before the franchise became, more of a wider hit, it was people who weren't really into multiplayer so much. But you guys played that new Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare game? That's awesome.
I need to.
I think you would like it. It's different enough. Yeah, I got a copy last week. I spent probably the majority of my waking hours on the weekend playing it. All day Saturday, most of Sunday. It's so much fun.
It was a nice change of pace to hear people's reaction and be like, oh, this is actually great.
Yeah.
This is really fun.
It could have been terrible, don't get me wrong, but I think it turned out okay, yeah.
It's on my list of things.
That's good.
I have a copy of it. I have South Park, The Stick of Truth waiting for me. I kind of rushed through, not even rushed through, but I played through the second episode of The Walking Dead too. It's been a good last couple weeks, actually, as far as releases go.
The thing with South Park is I'm really happy it exists because it seems like it's awesome, but I am so not really a fan of South Park, and I don't know why. I really like the guys. I just don't.
Is it because you're ginger?
Maybe it's subconsciously that. I don't know. I mean, I love the Book of Mormon. I love all their work. Besides, I guess South Park. I don't know.
I haven't watched South Park in like 6 years. Because I at some point I just got tired of the shtick. Like sometimes they have good takes and good lampooning, but just I got like bored of it. But I haven't messed around with Stick of Truth enough to see like if it's worth it to someone who's kind of not really into South Park anymore. But maybe it is. I don't know.
Maybe I'm well, Chris reviewed it for us. So I don't remember what he gave it. I think it was like an 8 or a 9.
Positive, and he really liked South Park though.
Yeah, so and that's what I'm getting at is like the RPG, the game aspects didn't sound that incredible by any means. It sounded, like a pretty standard game, but
it seemed pretty basic. I mean, just from the fact that like we've been comparing it to the Paper Mario series for ever since its inception. Like, I mean, those games are pretty.
They're pretty basic, yeah.
Light, basically.
I like Paper Mario.
I'm not saying it. Yeah, I like.
I know we both love it too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, those games, that series, it's not like as intensive as, say, I don't know, Earthbound or Chrono Trigger.
Those games too. Paper Mario, I feel like half the reason you're playing that is for the story and the the characters and setting. So it's sort of the same situation.
It's just a way more adult take on it.
I have seen some. I have looked into this, and there's some crazy. I guess not unexpected, given that it's South Park, but there's some crazy shit in there. Yeah, for sure.
I love how they create special censor screens for Europe and Australia, just of crying. What is a crying koala for Australia and the crying, I don't know, symbol of Europe.
The crying symbol of Europe?
It was a crying version of the symbol of Europe. I don't know
think it was the statue of David.
Oh.
But, like face palming behind a European flag of some kind.
Why did I say that out loud?
Symbol of Europe.
I just assumed, it was on top of a map, and I just figured that's their version of the Statue of Liberty. I'm gonna stop talking.
So I guess the koala is then the symbol of Australia.
Duh.
Which isn't wrong.
I think the European version of the Statue of Liberty is the Statue of Liberty because it came from
Shut
France.
up, you smartass. God damn it. You're fired.
We fired him so many times that you can never take that seriously.
At least he hasn't mentioned Robotnik's Mean Machine yet.
Or the Vita.
The Vita.
Or Gravity Rush.
I think those are the three main things you always have to say.
Yeah.
That Xbox One update. I really am just staring at the image you used for this post.
You should watch Kill la Kill.
It's good.
So was there an episode where everyone on the show is naked or something?
The last few episodes, everyone has been naked.
Why?
It's a long story.
It's a long story.
Okay, I believe you.
It's narratively validated. Don't worry.
Okay, that's all. I didn't even care about that so much, but it seems like the main thing here is Twitch integration, which took a while, but it's finally almost here.
Yeah.
I mean, Twitch integration blew up for the PS4. Like, we don't know if people are going to keep up with it after the novelty wears off, but like the PS4 numbers are huge, so expanding to another also fairly well-selling platform, like I'm sure people will eat it up.
And it seems it has better features too in some regards, with like the ability to archive your streams while you're doing it on the Xbox One, and the ability to watch any stream, even if it's coming from the PS4. Like, you watch people playing PS4 games on your Xbox One through Twitch.
You can't do that on the PS4?
Evidently, no.
Wow.
I think you can only watch, and Bill, who's our producer producing the show right now, can correct me, but I think you can only watch people playing PS4. You can only watch people streaming from the PS4 on the PS4.
That's great, because now people watching Xbox One Twitch will be like, hey, look at this cool infamous Second Son. I'm going to go buy a PS4.
You can totally watch PS4 streams on a computer.
Well, I mean, on the PS4 proper.
Oh, I don't know about that actually, but I want to jump in here real quick. Since this episode isn't going up until tomorrow, we can say that on the 11th we'll be doing a huge stream using the Twitch app on the Xbox One.
What are we playing?
Mostly Titanfall, probably. Possibly some other stuff, but it's going to be awesome. We're going to blow it out.
The main focus will be Titanfall, but if the servers are crap, then we will have some backup games.
Yeah, so tune in to dtoy.tv at noon Pacific on the 11th.
Yeah, I guess I should also mention the review embargoes for Titanfall are up on the 10th, I believe.
Monday.
We will not have a review then, because we did not attend the review event, and with how dependent this game is on servers, we want to play it in a real setting. We didn't do this with SimCity either, but we saw what happened with SimCity, where people play at a contained environment where it works
Review
perfectly.
events are such bullshit.
Yeah,
by the way.
Destructoid refuse to go to review events.
Like online multiplayer game, obviously, but even regular games, it's just that's not how you play a game normally. I mean, we already kind of review games, and as does everyone. You try and get it done in a timely manner, which isn't really representative of the average person. But to do it when people are like in the same room as you, and feeding you information and that sort of thing,
Food.
it's just not the same experience.
Well, I've attended some of them, not for the purpose of reviewing, but for the chance to talk to developers and get some great features out of them.
Mm-hmm.
No one bothers you when you're doing a review event. They tell you, like, the very start of it, they tell you what's up, kind of a schedule of, like, when you could play together for multiplayer and what you could do in case you have any questions. But otherwise, you could just sit there, relax, and, like, no one will bother you unless you ask for it. But yeah, they are putting you up in some cases, and also they're feeding you. But that's also the same thing at preview events. They're going to feed you because you're kind of at their mercy. You have to be there to check out the game, so they might as well at least feed you. They don't have to give you free alcohol, but they always do that. That's always great.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, but it is a shitty environment in the sense that, like, you have a time limit. You only have 2, maybe 3 days, or however long to play this game. Realistically, you don't want to rush through something when you can help it.
Well, and now in light of like Battlefield 4 and other games, well, especially Battlefield 4, where so I reviewed that for us, and I reviewed it on PC and didn't really have any issues with server drops or anything like that. And then, so I published my thoughts. I think I gave it like a 7 or an 8. I thought it was okay, pretty good. And then, like a month later, I started playing again, and now I'm experiencing all these terrible issues with the netcode that everyone else is, especially on like Xbox One and PS4. So it's just tough. You really don't know what you're gonna get, even like weeks and months after launch. It seems like so.
Yeah, but at the very least, we don't want to, with how dependent this game is with servers and everything.
Don't play it in a perfectly manicured setting.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the same thing as SimCity was, where you can't even play offline. You have to be connected to the internet to actually play. We're just concerned with how, like, maps are basically filled out with server-based AI and everything, and we just feel like that perfect environment is not going to be suitable for a proper review in this case.
Yeah, so our review will be, I assume Chris is doing it?
Yeah, I believe he is. And
okay,
yeah,
so
we'll have our review up as soon as we can.
It'll be there within
whenever,
a day or two, I'm sure.
Yeah, either whenever they get us the game, or probably in this case, we'll just have to go and buy it, which is not a big deal. But it's just gonna be a little late.
Yeah, and hopefully it will be representative of everyone else's experience with the game.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, I just want to say on the stream on the 11th, we'll be giving away a ass ton of prizes. So definitely watch and get like free crap for yourself.
Giant Titanfall robots. You get a mech. You get a mech.
God, speaking of Titanfall, they released that whole arcade thing.
Oh my god! I wasn't sure if I wanted to bring it up even.
It's so
dumb.
It was so dumb. What is that?
So it's like
that. Hey, let's remember these old school games for the Atari, and let's throw a fucking Titan in them. Thanks.
I mean, you basically said everything that needed to be said, but yeah.
So Titanfall's official website or whatever, they released an asteroids game. You know, like the old school asteroid, your little ship, and you're shooting asteroids and things. But in this case, you're a Titan, and you get dropped down into the asteroid field, and you get to shoot everything. And if you're wearing a headset like I was earlier, it's gonna blow out your ears because the audio issues are horrible.
It is so fucking loud. The only reason literally the only reason I posted this, because I wasn't going to. I don't think it. Well, by the time you hear this, it will be up on the site. But the only reason I posted it in the end was because it like destroyed my ears, and I wasn't going to have that happen for nothing. So I wanted to get a post out of it.
Did you warn people at least?
I said, yeah. I was like, if you have morbid curiosity, do not have your headphones on. Lower your volume. So.
Yeah. They're gonna release another one. I guess they're gonna release a couple different versions of this, like Titanfall meets old school game. The only other one I quickly noticed before I clicked out was Missile Command. I don't know what the third game was.
Centipede was the third one, yeah.
What? Okay, whatever.
Pretty much. I
Whatever.
can't believe we're still talking about this.
Yeah. Sorry.
What else could we
It
be
worked.
talking about, Jordan?
What?
What else could we be talking about?
We could be talking about something great. How about Batman? There's a new
Yes.
one from the people we want working on it, Rocksteady. So it is, what's it called, Arkham Knight? That's a cool name.
Yeah, because he's the knight, but then it's nighttime because it's dark and Batman.
So it actually doesn't pertain to your horrible joke in the slightest with the nighttime and him. Apparently, there's a character in the game that's being created originally by Rocksteady, and his name is Arkham Knight. And like he's like a villain or something. Like
Also, they are working. I cannot remember his name, but I believe they're co-writing the character with a longtime DC writer. So
cool.
So it's not going to be like some. Hopefully, it won't come off as some stupid like fan fiction-y villain, but.
Well, there was talk that Hush was going to be in there, and then there was, I guess, Scarecrow did the voiceover in the trailer. Maybe?
I believe
like
Scarecrow is the
head villain organizing like Penguin and
Two-Face and Harley Quinn. So I guess the whole concept of the story is that after the Joker's death in Arkham City, spoilers.
death.
I guess, right. All the villains have gotten together to fight against Batman because I don't know the craziest psychopath in the entire Gotham. Or DC
I feel like you kind of lessen that idea with the shitty Arkham Origins game that was like, let's gather a bunch of people to fight against Batman.
I agree.
And then they're like, all right, now here's the good game where we gather a bunch of people to fight against Batman.
I am so happy I did not play Origins because I'll be coming into this new game with like years of not playing Batman, so I'll be extra hyped up for it. I'll be ready for it. Yeah.
They're making a huge deal about the Batmobile being.
As they should.
You could call it at any time. It'll come to you. You can leap out of the Batmobile and crash through windows. Like, it sounds really great. Yeah.
So here's it does sound really great. My concern is like, what will the city look like? How populated will it be?
Right. They're widening the streets to fit the Batmobile, but like it was so easy and also good and fun to get around, like flying and gliding in Arkham City.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm like they have to make the Batmobile really cool to make me interested in driving around when I could be Batmaning around. And that really good trailer that they did used the Dark Knight sound effect for that like wobble 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 noise that the tires make, which was weird. But yeah, no, it's new Batman and that's good.
Yeah. Oh, so and we should also say it's coming to PC, Xbox One, and PS4, which is a good thing. I'm tired of these, cross-gen games, even though they serve a purpose. But like, I would rather move on and have games that don't have to cater to lesser hardware at this point.
It just
Titanfall
limits
is coming out on
what they can
360.
do, by catering to the last-gen audience. And it's kind of a bold move because you have 10 million Xbox 360 owners and 10 million PS3 owners and everything. But it's going to be for the benefit of the game that they just completely focus on next-gen.
Well, I mean, especially these are for releases that are late this year, next year, and by that time, like the PS4 has already sold over 6 million. PC is obviously established and it's still coming out on PC. Like, it's less of a risk, late this year and early next year to just only be PS4.
I think I just said 10 million Xbox 360s and PS3s.
Yeah.
But I meant like 100 million, not 10 million. I forget that. Yeah, whatever.
We know what you meant. Well, the other thing is like some publisher's got to be the one to release their big franchise on this new hardware and not the last gen consoles.
Yeah, I mean,
so I'd rather have it be them, I guess.
Well, 2K is also doing the same thing with Evolve, and I think there was one other title that's embracing just next gen development too. So we're starting to see that trend finally. I think I saw it was either on Game Informer who revealed the whole Batman Arkham Knight thing. Say that just one of the characters has more polygons than the entirety of Arkham City.
I can't remember. Was it Arkham City or was it Arkham Asylum? It was one of the two.
It was one of the two, but like
either way, what?
Well,
Yeah.
the city is supposed to be 5 times bigger than Arkham City, and it's
Which
gonna
was
be
pretty substantial, I thought.
Yeah.
With
Also
all that
the like
shit littered around it, those Riddler challenges. My God.
being able to seamlessly enter buildings and stuff like that. If it's all super seamless, that would be really nice.
That would, yeah. That sounds like a great extension of what was there in Arkham City.
So
If they just did Arkham City again and didn't really go any further, I wouldn't be so into it. But
yeah, and I guess they're making a big deal, I think, about like the glass shattering and being able to like leap through glass. So I don't know how many buildings are gonna have just giant glass pane walls that you can jump through, but it'll be fun.
I hope if they do the explosive spray again, that Batman continues doing it in the bat symbol every single time, because that always cracks me up to think about that.
It's just like he's like a bad tagger. He's just like, it's like a little kid, just like, yeah, I'm Batman, drawing his little bat symbol before he explodes things.
So, Interceptor. Okay, so I'm not really 100% clear on this. Okay, so it's the group behind Interceptor. Acquired Apogee and 3D Realms, aka the Duke Nukem people, the Rise of the Triad people, etc. Yeah, the crazy thing about this is that Gearbox is currently suing 3D Realms for making allegedly a new Duke Nukem game, and they're not supposed to, but they're doing it anyway, I think.
And it's like, why? Why are you doing
Well, first
this?
of all,
who wants
why
a
are
new
you
Duke Nukem game at this point?
Even if they were able to, I don't know why they're doing this. I thought Duke Nukem seems more tarnished to me than Aliens does, by a long shot. So I don't know why anyone would want to touch that property anytime soon.
Yeah, no one should. Stop. Just stop. Like, go do something else better with your time. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't even know that Duke Nukem can work as a concept anymore.
I have nothing to add to this discussion.
You agree then? You
How I
don't
feel
disagree?
about Duke Nukem and this whole Interceptor thing. I'm
a shitbag. That's funny, right?
Wow, you're
That actually was really funny.
impression. That's up
When
there
you
with
say
Max's.
Anyway, apparently they aren't concerned with the lawsuit. They're not that concerned with the lawsuit. They spoke to Eurogamer, the CEO of one of the companies, I guess the investment group, and he said something like, "Our only message is we're not all out of gum yet," which
doesn't make sense because it's supposed to be I'm here to kick ass, but I'm all out of gum. So it's like you're not out of gum, so you're just gonna chew gum. You're not gonna kick ass. Okay, Jesus,
Yeah,
get your own stupid lore right.
And it's not even Duke Nukem lore. They stole it from John Carpenter.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do not. Sorry, I don't care for Duke Nukem. I think we can move on. So PS4, we kind of hit on this a little bit, but PS4 has been doing pretty well. It surpassed 6 million systems worldwide. So the thing here that really stood out to me is that apparently 90% of US PS4s are connected to the internet, which seems really high.
Especially given the US's terrible internet infrastructure.
I know.
Terrible.
That's
Other
good.
than that, yeah, so they released some stats. The other thing that was kind of interesting is that PS4 users account for 20% of daily broadcasts on Twitch. So, but again, like we were kind of saying before, I wonder how much of that is novelty. I'm going to stream once, and that'll be it.
Then again, with the success of platforms for people to just try to make themselves public, like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, whatever, maybe people are going to be into streaming forever. They're like, look at me, I'm playing a game, I'm really important.
You're probably right. I just do not.
I mean, look at how many people
streaming.
Look at how many people have a Spelunky stream. It's like if you're in games and you don't have a Spelunky stream, you're like,
why are you playing
lover.
Spelunky? Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Look at me, I'm playing games, I'm great.
Wow. Okay.
But that's accurate. I mean, well, some of them don't even talk when they play. I don't know who watches those streams.
It's this weird like, yeah, sure, people want to look at me. It's like a weird voyeurism. It's like, yeah, let me just broadcast me playing a video game because why not? Let me tweet about my dinner and Instagram
my dinner. Yeah, not to completely, shit all over streaming. Like the other week, the Bananasaurus Rex did his high score for Spelunky. That was really cool to see happen live. So I mean, it's like there are good uses. The Pokemon plays Twitch thing, or the Twitch plays Pokemon thing is kind of funny.
Oh yeah, and I love these platforms in general. I mean, I love Twitter. I fucking love Twitter.
Me too.
But yeah, it's going to be a lot of people are going to join these things and just to try to be on them and get out there, and it's going to be just people are into
noise.
It. Yeah.
There's also a lot of entertainment to be found on Destructoid's own Twitch TV channel, dtoy.tv.
Oh, thanks God. Thanks for that message.
See, we talk when we do our streams. No, I don't think any of us are really. Hamza is on some of them sometimes, but
I've been on them.
Phil and Spencer do those.
They're cool.
They're cool cats.
I'm cooler.
You know what's really cool? Crawl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Oh my God.
Game. So
that
it is
trailer.
Okay, so
which you
first
can
of all,
find on Destructoid. Oh my God.
The trailer is called the Crawl Greenlight trailer. And it is just, like, even if you know what the game is, you need to see this because it's so well put together. There's great narration in it.
The narration is like Mark Hamill reading a Coleridge poem. It is, oh my God, it is so good. And the animation, I mean, I know a lot of people think, like, pixel art is passé and whatever, especially that, like, sort of, like, lanky, tall, really minimal pixel art. But it's beautiful, but also the animation is so good. There's so many little details that just
there's so much character
alive.
to it. Yeah. And so what this game is it's basically like a sort of overhead dungeon crawler. Again, it's pixely. But the twist here is that it's actually a multiplayer game, and so someone's a hero trying to survive and kill monsters and stuff like that. But the other players can possess monsters and also
they're ghosts.
You're ghosts, and you try and kill the hero, and if you kill him, you become the hero. And it's like a procedural. Yeah, so it's like a procedurally generated thing. It's new content every time in theory. Yeah, gosh, this looks awesome.
And their trailers are always so well put together. They will just sell you on it immediately. And speaking of really good trailers for really good local multiplayer games, Battle Block Theater from the Castle Crashers developer coming to Steam, and that trailer is hilarious.
Again, it's all about the narration.
In this particular case, it was narrated by Stamper, and he's a notorious Newgrounds artist. He also does a really, well, I want to say amazing, but they're also pretty fucked up videos on YouTube.
They are.
Amazingly fucked up videos.
Well, and he's also the narrator in the game itself. So.
Yeah, he did the ending song and everything, and there's a cat version of Gabe Newell at the end of the trailer. It's great.
So just what we're trying to say here is that
put time
into your trailer and you will be rewarded.
Yeah.
Like custom make your trailers, not just recycled footage.
Do entertaining trailers like this. Here's a tip for all you developers who send press outlets your videos and things. Check out my new game. Don't send us teasers. Don't send us shitty videos with just text and no actual gameplay and no real information.
Don't send 2 screenshots.
Don't send these like overly jokey videos where you don't actually explain anything. Like, it's good. Doing that's good, like further into the development. But if it's the very first thing you're gonna show, we're not gonna care.
Also, don't call your game a Minecraft killer, which is what something literally said earlier this week.
Don't call your game a Metroidvania.
Don't call it a Flappy Bird something or other, because we don't care anymore.
Don't call it a killer anything. Whenever we see killer, which we haven't actually in the longest time. Actually, the last time I remember anything killer was Killzone back in the day. It was like, we're gonna be the Halo killer.
I remember that too. Yeah.
But
don't use memes.
Yeah.
Please. You're on the internet. I get it. Memes fucking suck.
I like that thing Nintendo did where they had Cranky Kong on Twitter and he was using memes just because it was like Nintendo. What's happening here?
We have a suspicion of knowing exactly who was behind those.
Not a suspicion. I know it was him. I know it was him because he writes in a certain way.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's not that falling down the rabbit hole of bullshit and shitty PRing.
I honestly thought it was kind of humorous for what it was.
I unfollowed Nintendo at that point.
It was humorous in like this is
not humorous.
The worst. It's humorous in the same way that like Domino's Hatsune Miku pizza app in Japan commercial, where the CEO of Domino's with a shit-eating grin on his face is just, "Hi, I'm Scott from Domino's. Have you heard of Hatsune Miku?"
I have not seen this.
Oh, you need to watch that.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like it. I think we ran through all our topics there. Yeah.
And then some.
And then some, yeah. So
we told you how to send us proper entertaining things that we could cover better. Otherwise, we won't. We're talking about Titanfall review events. We talked about Max doing possible illegal things to
illegal
oral sex on Kojima.
No. Shh.
I like how you called it illegal.
You don't know what's legal in Japan? I don't know. Do you know?
Probably a lot of things.
I hope Japan is more forward-thinking to not have.
I mean, you just need the little black.
Laws.
Just have the little black bar. And
haven't you ever seen Japanese porn? They censor everything. What's up with that?
No, they censor a very small.
Because if you put a little black bar over part of a genitalia, then it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it becomes something new. And
what are they doing? What's behind the bar? Maybe it's
SpaghettiOs.
Maybe it's a log of meat.
It's a bowl of SpaghettiOs. And they're trying to eat it, but they can't seem to.
That reminds me of those. I don't remember what it's called. Maybe it's like safe for work porn or something, where they kind of like MS Paint draw over porn, and it's still incredibly not safe for work, despite that. But
they're just basting a turkey, Jordan. What are you talking about?
It's still graphic.
It's worse.
It is worse in a lot of cases.
I bet you can show it to your grandparents. They won't know.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Oh, that's a pretty intimate relationship there, buddy.
Okay, let's end this. We've gone to that dark place. Time to end it.
This ended podtoidish.
That's kind of what we've been doing lately, it seems like. So, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at DtoidJordan. Hamza is at CTZ. Steven is at DtoidSteven. And our producer, Bill, who you heard earlier, is at Bill Zoker. Thanks for listening. We are on iTunes as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's search for Destructoid Hardline to find that. And I guess we'll be back next week.
You're running through this entire part here like a Valley Girl whenever they talk about anything.
Am I?
They end their sentences in a way that makes it sound
with the upward leading lilt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know where I'm going with this, so I have to end it in weird ways like that.
In questions.
In questions.
You can.
I'm not sure of myself yet.
You can follow us on iTunes. Just search.
And now I'm gonna go cut myself because Hamza made me feel bad.
Good.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.